SA Express is facing final liquidation. According to provisional liquidators, no suitable buyers have come forward to purchase the airline. This means there's no way to save it. It's been in provisional liquidation since 2020. Well, for more on this latest development, I'm joined now by my fellow eNCA and our reporter Heidi Giokos, who's busy following up this story. Heidi, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time. I understand you've spoken to the trade unions about this possible final liquidation order that may be set SA Express next week. What are they saying?
Yeah, so let's start off with SACA and NUMSA, who have really been at the forefront when it comes to SAA and SA Express. They are very worried about the possible final liquidation order that will be possibly handed down and given next week, Wednesday. Now, why is this all up in the media now, given that the court case is only happening on Wednesday? The unions are very worried that the provisional liquidators have not given any of the potential buyers an opportunity to buy SA Express. One must remember that the airline has been in provisional liquidation since 2020, and it was for the provisional liquidator to find a potential buyer before the court ruled a final liquidation order. Now, SA Express has not had it easy. There's been no successful bidder or buyer, but also there has been a big concern that the licensing of SA Express has been cancelled due to the fact that it has not been operating. So SACA and NUMSA feel as though Parliament should intervene, given the fact that the Department of Public Enterprises, according to them, has not intervened as yet in saving SA Express. And just looking at how things are domestically in the country, there is a need for domestic airlines because of what's happened with Comair, Mango still being in business rescue. But the unions are not happy, and they are possibly going to take action before Wednesday's court date. Let's listen to Christopher Shabangu from SACA.
Express is the Parliament's baby. It is the Parliament that created this airline. It belongs to Parliament. The DPE is basically a nanny of this airline. In other words, what we're trying to say here is that Parliament, the DPE, have not made any attempt to try and intervene in any court applications that have been made by the business rescue in trying to liquidate Express, which we believe, which is shocking. It is shocking because they're supposed to be looking after this entity for the benefit of the South Africans. And again, I must always go back, Heidi, and tell you that we're not talking about an entity that was just losing money. It was a very good entity that was good, that was working very well. Through corruption, it collapsed. So Parliament has got a duty to come and oppose themselves on Wednesday, this application. DPE has got that duty to go and oppose that application. Now, I must also, first part of your question, 5 million rands was deposited. You're saying about the long time now. I'm talking about, yes, the duration of the whole thing. 5 million was deposited into the business rescuers trust account. It's sat there for a period of about 3 months. And after 3 months, on short notice, the business rescuer comes and tells us that he believes he can get a better offer out of what has been offered by the workers, which is 5 million. I'm talking about the investor that has already put money, made commitments, found the aircraft. They chucked that investor and no better offer ever came. Now, also, we had many more other interested buyers who had shown commitment to buy the airline, and all of those were rejected with no reason.
Yeah, this situation must have been, it's been very tough on workers. As you say, it's been going on for quite a long time now. What do we know about the state in terms of the workers, what they're going through?
Well, they've basically been in limbo and living in uncertainty since last year, April, since 2020, April rather, when the airline went into provisional liquidation. Their contracts were immediately terminated and they had no idea what the future holds. And this is exactly what's happening right now. We know that the Dynamic People's Union of South Africa, who's also really been at the forefront of trying to help workers and just trying to get any bit of information with regards to what's going to happen with SA Express. And it seems as though workers have really been struggling quite a bit. The tragedy in all of this is that some have even taken their own lives because they've just lost complete hope. They have nothing left. They've lost their jobs. They've lost their houses, their cars, all their possessions. So it's very worrying at this stage. And if there's a final liquidation order, the possibility of these workers getting absolutely nothing is very high at this stage. So I'm sure they're all waiting to see what happens on Wednesday and possibly waiting for government intervention. But let's listen to what this particular union had to say about workers.
It is definitely devastating. Some of them are struggling to find employment. Some of them they just went out they gave up from looking for employment. They are in villages and so on. So it is a situation of them having to face some depression. Some of them are even threatening to take their lives, suicides and so on. It is a very bad state, and we believe that failure on the part of government to even prosecute, even if it's 2 people that have caused this thing, we needed to then revive the spirit that this government is very serious in ensuring that they fight these social ills that are perpetrated against the poor people.
You've mentioned that the workers are looking to government for some intervention. I wonder what the Department of Public Enterprises is saying about this currently, if you know at all. And as well, the provisional liquidators, the court case is next week, Wednesday, but are they saying anything at this stage?
So I think the Department of Public Enterprises, they find themselves in a difficult position because once the airline moves into provisional liquidation, it's in the hands of the provisional liquidator. Of course, there still needs to be engagement with the shareholder, which is DPE at this stage. We've reached out to them. We're just waiting to get a response, but they can't really do much. This is why SACA is saying they want to write to Parliament. Perhaps there's some intervention from Parliament, as this is a state-owned entity that could be finally liquidated. The provisional liquidators have not really responded in terms of what's going to happen from now until Wednesday, but we know that the final liquidation order could possibly be handed down on Wednesday next week, and this is because the provisional liquidators will go to court and say we have no potential buyer, nobody's been forthcoming, or we haven't found an appropriate buyer, and there is no other way to save this airline, which is really going to be tragic, Bradan, because this airline has been in the air since 1994, and it's really serviced many routes, and given what's going on domestically. So we'll wait to hear from DPE as well as provisional liquidators what possibly could come on Wednesday.
And that could be your next update on this developing story. Thank you very much. Heidi Giokos there on the trials and tribulations of SA Express.